Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into something really interesting. The 14 FinTech and PropTech finalists from the latest Disrupt Battlefield. Why should you care? Well, these startups are like a crystal ball. They show us exactly where the smart money is heading, and maybe more importantly, how AI is finally starting to get practical.
For years, we've been absolutely swimming in AI hype. It's everywhere, right? In every single headline, every product pitch. But let's be honest, the big question has always been lingering in the back of our minds. Is this all just noise? Or is AI actually solving real, roll up your sleeves kind of problems for businesses and for us?
Well, for these 14 startups, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. They're showing us that the real revolution isn't some sci-fi fantasy about the future. No, it's about applying this incredible technology right now to fix very specific, very expensive, and frankly, very annoying problems in the worlds of finance and real estate. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll see how AI is changing business finance. Then we'll check out some new tools for your own wallet. After that, we'll look at building and buying, and we'll wrap up with the big idea that connects all of these dots. All right, first up, reshaping business finance. We're talking about fixing the back-end plumbing of the financial world, the stuff you don't see but that everything else relies on. So, to get a sense of just how big the problem is, just look at this number, $10 billion. That's how much was lost to fraud just last year. It puts lenders in this impossible position, right? They have to move fast to approve loans, but at the same time, they're facing this absolutely massive risk. And this is exactly where a startup like Clocks.ai comes into play. What they do is pretty brilliant. They use computer vision and large language models to spot forged bank statements, fake IDs, you name it, and they do it instantly. Think of it like an automated fraud detective that can catch these super sophisticated fakes that a human eye would totally miss. The result? Lending gets way faster and a whole lot safer. Okay, let me ask you this. Why do so many community bank websites just feel kind of clunky and disconnected? It's a huge pain point. These banks are so important, but behind the scenes, they're often struggling with this messy, super expensive patchwork of software that just refuses to play nice together. So this is the old way, right? Juggling Salesforce for your customer relationships, Tableau for your data, Seismic for sales. It's a mess. What Identify does is just collapse that whole complicated stack into one single integrated AI platform. And the key is, it's designed from the ground up just for banking. And this back office innovation is a real theme here. It doesn't stop. You've got companies like Cypher, which is basically a CFO for hire that speaks the language of startups. Think cohorts, retention, all that stuff. And then you have Cruncher, which is building an AI analyst for VCs and private equity to help them automate all that tedious due diligence. See? They're all fixing that essential behind-the-scenes plumbing. Okay, so from the back office, let's move to the front lines. Let's talk about some new tools for your wallet and how AI is changing personal finance for all of us. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but most kids graduate high school with zero formal training in personal finance. That is a massive gap, and a startup called LootLock is trying to fix that, starting early. What they've built is basically a programmable allowance. It connects chores to real earnings on a prepaid debit card. It's a simple, brilliant way to teach kids that fundamental lesson, work equals money. And then for us adults, there's the yearly nightmare we all love, taxes. The tax code is literally thousands of pages long. And these days, who has just one simple W-2 job anymore? We've got freelance gigs, side hustles, investments. It's complicated. So a company called Muse plugs right into your bank and payroll data to give you personalized tax strategies in real time. The whole point is to avoid that nasty, expensive surprise in April. All right, let's shift gears now. We've talked digital finance. Let's talk about the physical world, building and buying real estate. You might be surprised to hear this, but productivity in the construction industry has basically been flat for decades. It's an industry that is just ripe for innovation, and AI is about to deliver. Check this out. A startup named Genia is making a wild promise to make the structural design process 10 times faster. 10 times. The way it works is an architect uploads their drawings, and the AI takes over. It validates all the physics, makes sure everything is up to code, and then generates the actual structural designs. This could slash weeks off a project's timeline. That's not just time, that's a ton of money saved.
Okay, now on the buying side, we all know about the housing shortage. It's a huge problem. So Unlisted Homes is trying something completely different. They're creating what they call a pre-market. Forget just looking at what's for sale on Zillow right now. Imagine being able to see profiles for millions of homes that aren't on the market, and you could signal your interest in one maybe years before the owner even considers selling. It's a whole new way of thinking about finding a home. But finding the house is one thing, affording it is another. For so many people, the down payment is the single biggest hurdle. A company called Zoun has a really clever solution. They're an AI-powered brokerage. And like some others, they'll rebate part of the commission back to you. But here's the game changer. They give you that cash before closing. That means you can use that money directly for your down payment. It's genius.
So let's take a step back. We've talked about a fraud detector, an allowance app for kids, a tool for construction engineers. I mean, they sound completely unrelated, right? But there's a single powerful theme that connects every single one of these companies. So what is it? What's the real revolution here?
This is the crucial insight. None of these companies are trying to be the Uber for X and just burn the whole industry to the ground. No, they're much smarter than that. They're building tools that integrate with what's already there. They're partnering with banks, not trying to replace them. They're selling co-pilots to general contractors, not demanding a rip out everything they're used to. It's all about collaboration, not just mindless disruption.
And that means this isn't about flashy demos that look good on stage. These startups get it. To win in super regulated industries like finance and real estate, the real hard work is building trust. And that means doing the boring stuff right, getting SOC 2 audits, managing model risk, having rock-solid data. They're not looking for a quick win. They're building to last. And this right here, this is the payoff for all of us. The ultimate promise of this whole new wave of practical AIs is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. It's about less clicking, less waiting, and less darkness. It's about using technology to shine a light on the complicated parts of our lives, to make things clearer, faster, and cheaper.
Which really leaves us with a fascinating question, doesn't it? If this is what the practical application of AI looks like today, these deeply integrated co-pilots in our financial and physical worlds, what comes next? What other industries, what other complex parts of our daily lives are about to get their own quiet, practical AI revolution? It's going to be exciting to watch.